Let me start with something uncomfortable, because if this message hurts a little, it probably means you need it. If you've ever said, "It's fine, I guess," about your life, your job, or your relationship, this video is for you. Settling doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly, slowly. You don't wake up one day and decide to accept less than you deserve. You convince yourself to stay patient, to be understanding, to not ask for too much. And before you know it, your standards shrink while your unhappiness grows. So listen closely. Because the first sign you're settling is that you keep explaining other people's bad behavior. You make excuses for disrespect. You say they're stressed, they didn't mean it, they'll change someday. But deep down, you know if your best friend were in your position, you'd tell them to walk away immediately. When you start defending what hurts you, you're not being loyal, you're betraying yourself. The second sign is that you feel more drained than fulfilled. Whatever you're settling for takes more from you than it gives back. You're always adjusting, compromising, understanding, forgiving, but rarely receiving the same energy in return. You feel tired, emotionally exhausted, and yet you keep telling yourself this is normal. It's not. Growth can be uncomfortable, but it should never feel like you're slowly disappearing. If you constantly feel empty instead of inspired, that's your intuition waving a red flag. The third sign is that you're afraid to ask for what you want, not because it's unreasonable, but because you're scared of the answer. You avoid honest conversations because you already know they can't meet you where you are, so you silence your needs, you lower your expectations, you convince yourself that wanting more is being selfish. But here's the truth no one tells you. The right people, the right opportunities, the right environments don't punish you for having standards. Only the wrong ones do. The fourth sign is that you romanticize potential instead of reality. You don't love how things are right now, you love what they could be. You stay stuck in the future, imagining promises, hoping effort will eventually turn into results. But potential is not commitment. Promises are not actions. And waiting for someone or something to become what you need is one of the fastest ways to waste years of your life. Reality is what matters, always. If any of this feels a little too accurate, don't click away, because the next signs are even more revealing, and they might explain why you've been feeling stuck for so long. The fifth sign you're settling is that you feel guilty for wanting more. Somewhere along the way, you were taught that gratitude means silence, that being thankful means not complaining. So every time you feel unhappy, you shame yourself. You tell yourself others have it worse, so you should just accept what you have. But gratitude and self-respect are not enemies. You can appreciate where you are and still demand better. Wanting growth doesn't make you ungrateful, it makes you honest. The sixth sign is that you're shrinking to fit where you are. You don't fully express yourself anymore. You hold back your opinions, your dreams, your personality. You've learned that being fully you causes tension, conflict, or rejection, so you adapt. You become quieter, smaller, easier to deal with. But anything that requires you to erase yourself to keep peace is not peace, it's self-abandonment. You were never meant to dim your light just to make others comfortable. And the seventh sign, the most brutal one of all, is that you already know you're settling. That quiet voice in your head has been talking to you for a long time. It shows up late at night. It shows up when you see others living boldly. It whispers, "There's more for you than this." But instead of listening, you distract yourself. You stay busy. You stay comfortable. You stay scared. Because settling feels safer than the risk of change. But here's the reality you need to hear. Comfort that costs you your happiness is too expensive. You don't need permission to want better. You don't need a dramatic breaking point to walk away. And you don't need to wait until things get worse to choose yourself. The moment you recognize that you're settling is the moment you're powerful enough to stop. So ask yourself honestly, if nothing changed, would you be happy 5 years from now? If the answer is no, then this is your sign. If this video spoke to you, don't ignore it. Share it with someone who needs the truth.
Subscribe if you're ready for honesty, growth, and real change. And remember this, you are not asking for too much, you've just been accepting too little.